Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we're taking a look at another brand new TCG exclusive revealed for the Megatins. These have been pretty interesting cards, none of which are like full on bangers. We keep harping back on a couple of years ago where Konami released Dark Ruler No More, Dimension Shifter, and Nibiru as the three Megatin promos. Out of this world crazy, like progressive cards that like had so much impact on the game. They're not going for that anymore. It seems like they don't want to just drop like crazy power creep like that. Maybe the OCG wasn't so happy about the TCG getting cards that impactful so much earlier than they were, but whatever. Today we're looking at Dragon Gate. This is a new rank 6 monster revealed right alongside two reprints confirmed for the two big Mulcharmies, Perulia and Fuelos. That's awesome. Those cards needed to be in here. I'm just glad they're confirmed to be in here. So that way, even though they are slightly more budget after a couple of the other reprints, they'll get even closer to that status for anybody who just hasn't been able to pick them up, because it just feels like you kind of need them. All right, let's take a look at Dragon Gate, though. This is an Earth Zombie Exceed. It's a rank 6, of course, 1100 attack, 2800 defense. It's generic, takes any two level 6s, which works. 6s have been getting a little bit more popular over the last couple of formats, but you'll see it's not actually the key here. Because the first line of text here says, once per turn, you can also XYZ summon Dragon Gate by using a rank 3 or lower Exceed monster you control. So any rank 3 or lower that you can just slap this right on top. So this is super, super easy to make. There'll be a ton of decks that can spam into this, because they already have their own rank 3 or lowers that already are like getting them into other parts of their engine, and that body on field isn't even like super necessary for them. So that's really cool. Cannot be used as material for an Exceed summon the turn it was Exceed summon, so you're just not going to be able to use this as like a Zeus facilitator type card. I think is kind of the main reason for this line, but that's fine. This card's kind of supposed to be like a game ender. So, what it actually does, once per turn, you can activate this effect. For the rest of this turn, this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Also, detach any number of materials from this card, and if you do, it gains 1000 attack for each card type. Not each card, not number detached, but each type. So, if you have an Exceed that you were able to make that had a spell or a trap also attached, you'd be able to get bigger bonuses here. So normally you're going to be making this and detaching just a monster, but that's still pretty decent. So this card will gain 1000 even if you just detach one. And if you do, any monsters your opponent currently controls also lose that much attack. So that's why it's like actually not even that bad to just detach monsters. You're going to get a 1000 buff, and your opponent's going to get a 1000 subtraction to all of their monsters. Every monster on the board. So without kind of saying it directly, as long as your opponent's monsters are in attack position, you're kind of buffing this monster up to 3100, and you're able to attack everything your opponent controls. And then if you are able to get a spell or trap, then you're talking about getting this thing to basically 5100, right? If you're detaching two different card types, because everything your opponent has, I mean, just in terms of being able to beat those monsters, but you'll go to 31. All of your opponent's monsters will lose 2000 attack, and you will just run over everything. So it's a cool card. I mean, it's cool in that how easy you can make it just off of any deck you're playing that can make rank 3 or lowers. Slapping it in there to just be able to run over certain boards. The one downside on this card to me, not that it's a huge downside, but like you have to activate it, right? We've seen stuff like Zeus where if you just go battle phase and you go bang bang, and then you overlay Zeus on top in main phase 2 with two activations. It's like your opponent may only have one negate, but you have two Zeuses, so you are going to wipe the board. But you also didn't really give them great opportunity to interact with you if you weren't really activating anything prior to that. Whereas this card does have to activate to get this to work. I guess if they negate it, the saving grace is you can then Zeus from there as with the bonus material on this card, because then that continuous effect won't be active if this card is like blanket negated. But still, it makes this card a little easy to interact with. But as long as you're able to bait most other stuff out, and then you're just like, okay, I'm going to make a big guy and I'm going to run over everything, that can hold some value for sure. So I don't know. It's a cool card. It's not out of this world. It's not necessarily like a guaranteed OTK or anything, but I could see scenarios where just decks that have room in extra and already are like a low range, Exceed based deck, or at least can make them really easily, it's actually could be a cheeky card for either specific matchups or specific scenarios that you feel like you're running into in certain formats. I could actually see this card being useful to just run over stuff there. So it's a cool card. It's nowhere near, the Dark Ruler No Mores, the Nibiru's, the Dimension Shifters of the world, but it's a cool one. It's a card I could actually, I would definitely pick up just to have in the binder for when like, I am on a rank 3 or lower deck, and I feel like it could come in as a just a niche scenario type card. But yeah, outside of that, not crazy generic application, but like enough that we'll kick the tires on it, I think. There you go. There's our new card. Let me know your thoughts down below on this. Are there other applications that I'm not seeing on first rip here? Let me know your thoughts down below. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.